The coin market cap is used to summarize everything that is said in this movie. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to my station to get more XRP news and news about cryptocurrencies in general. Look at this now. The ongoing lawsuit between Ripple and the SEC has been making a lot of noise. Will the new SEC administration decide not to continue the appeal in the days leading up to the deadline of January 15th? There is more and more talk about what might have happened in this case. A lot of people are interested in how things will end up. Some law experts, including the famous Jeremy Hogan, recently said that they thought the case would be settled in April or May. This could be good news for people who have stakes in XRP. That being said, many people have questioned whether or not there needs to be a deal if the SEC loses its case to shed light on the situation. Mark Fagel, who used to work as a lawyer for the Securities and Exchange Commission, says that the SEC didn't lose the whole case, they won some parts and lost some parts. They are both legally allowed to, and they have both used their right to appeal the parts of the case that they thought were unfair. For more information, Fagel said that the court agreed with the SEC that Ripple had sold over $700 million worth of unregistered stocks illegally, mostly through institutional sales. Ripple was fined $125 million by the court for breaking the guidelines. Even so, both Ripple and the SEC are reviewing the parts of the case that they failed to win. Unfortunately, this means that the punishment will have to wait until the result of the appeal process is known. Fagel said that the new people in charge of the Securities and Exchange Commission might decide not to go ahead with the appeal, which might help make it possible for a deal that follows the court's earlier order. And just like Paul Atkins did when he was the next chair of the Securities and Exchange Commission, President-elect Donald Trump picked Paul Atkins, who used to be a commissioner of the CC. Atkins, who was named second vice chair of the Securities and Exchange Commission by President George W. Bush, will replace Gary Gensler as chair of the SEC on January 20th, 2025. Gensler was leaving his job because he understood how important it was to regulate and oversee businesses. Experts say that Atkins is a trustworthy and experienced person who should be chosen, especially when it comes to the stock market. People in the cryptocurrency community, especially those who own SAR, are worried about how sophisticated scams are getting that target people who use different types of digital assets. John Deaton, a well-known crypto lawyer and supporter of XRP users, sent out a strong warning through an X post, asking people to improve their online security and stay alert to new fraud schemes. Deaton's message was shown on X. Fear and a sense of urgency are used by con to draw attention to the growing threat that scammers pose. Scammers often use users' emotions like worry and a sense of urgency to trick them into making mistakes as they speak out. Using a personal event from 2 years ago, didn't go into detail about how bad people had tried to trick him into giving up important information by pretending to be from the Bitcoin platform Uphold, hacking into his home Wi-Fi network, and doing other similar things. Con artists often use tricks like sending users urgent messages saying their accounts have been stopped, which was brought to his attention. People who are under this kind of pressure often act quickly, like clicking on links that lead to fake websites or giving out private information. Scammers pretending to be Uphold tried to trick me. Instead, they took over my personal Wi-Fi network and made up fake conversations. The way he told the story shows how complicated these plans have become. Being very careful when replying to unsolicited emails sent through the internet is very important. In order to protect against these risks, Deaton stressed how important it was to put in place strict security measures that would make security processes stronger. Users should never and ever give each other their passwords, seed phrases, or secret keys. For the highest level of protection, he told people to set up two-factor authentication for all of their accounts. Additionally, he asked everyone to keep a good amount of doubt about phone calls, pop-up windows, and emails that seem sketchy or need action right away. Be wary of all emails you didn't ask for, but especially ones that seem to be trying to scare you and demand action right away. Deaton caution, verification, and care are both very important. Deaton told users that they should carefully check the authenticity of any messages that claim to come from authorities or official sites. People can greatly lower their chances of falling for cons by being careful and questioning the legitimacy of these kinds of meetings. He thought that the people who had struck him had done a lot to earn his trust. They set up a fake account, put a locked message on his computer screen, and then called him to follow up. They sent emails claiming to be from Uphold's customer service. It's possible that the outcome would have been terrible if he didn't have any doubts. The message that Deaton sent is in line with larger concerns that people in the Bitcoin community have about how common scams are. Not long ago, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse wrote about the issue on X and said that hackers' actions were both bad for the industry and should be punished. How important knowledge and awareness are. This event serves as a reminder to XRP users and the cryptocurrency community as a whole to stay up to date on possible threats. To stay safe in the digital asset market, it's important to take precautions too. Protect your assets and keep up with the latest scam schemes. Through telling his story, Dedden hopes to teach people how to spot and avoid scams that aren't what they seem to be. Making sure that their money and private data are safe is important. The United States market is very important, as Brad Garlinghouse points out. Brad Garlinghouse, chairman and CEO of Ripple, talked about the big change in how people feel about digital assets in the US on Sunday, January 5th. He said that the Trump bull market is real and that the year 2025 has come. After the Gensler SEC made it hard for us to do business in the United States for years, this is a much more personal issue for Ripple for a number of reasons. It's easy to see that people are feeling optimistic, and they should. Individuals on Team Trump, including Scott Bisson, David Sachs, Paul Atkins, and others, are already starting to make the United States a better place to work and encourage new ideas, even though they have not yet been sworn in. You can say whatever you want, but Trump's campaign and the goals of the government at the start of the day are already making cryptocurrency cool again. This hope is shown by the growth of Ripple in the US. Most of Garlinghouse's open jobs are in the United States right now, 75% of them. There were more deals made by Ripple in the United States in the last 6 weeks of 2024 than in the 6 months before. Ripple's recent growth in the US is probably due to people getting more and more hopeful that the Securities and Exchange Commission will drop its appeal against the decisions in the Ripple case. As I've already said, Attorney John Deaton, who is an amicus curiae, said that it is impossible to know how much damage was done to American companies like Ripple because there wasn't clear regulatory advice. I have been told so many times to ignore the US market and not give anything to investors there that I can't keep track of them all.